let's talk about the elephant in the room. Scentsy Candles. There's been a little bit of a discourse about Scentsy releasing candles. And the whole Scentsy, we used to always promote that it was a wickless candle. And honestly, I think Scentsy's been wickless or has been like not advertising as a wickless company for quite a long time. I feel like Scentsy's lost that wickless branding probably when they changed the brand like the first time. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. But Scentsy has since released some candles, and the new ones are coming out starting on September 22nd. And there's going to be some other ones. I think it's just Christmas Cottage. I think maybe not. I think it's in the holiday collection. But anyway, regardless of that. But we have now got candles, and some people were not happy about it, and others were like, this is great. And I'm going to give you my opinion of all of it and my experience of burning this candle. I have been burning this for probably about 20 hours now, and my thoughts and opinions of it. I'm going to tell you what my first expectations were going in. I decided to go with cider mill because pumpkin roll was just a little bit too basic for me. I went with cider mill. So my expectations of this one is it was not going to be super strong because cider mill, in my opinion, is kind of mild. It's not super spicy, even though it's in a spice category. Let's not talk about that. It's more fruity to me, and it's so nice. It is just a really, really great fall scent. So I went with that one, and overall my expectation, it's been a very long time since I've warmed or burned candles. I can't even tell you the last time that I've actually burned a candle. So for me, it's been a while. But I was like, I know it's not going to have the same experience as a warmer. I know that what I was expecting was going to be what a candle is, that the scent is going to be more local. It's going to be more like in this room. And then I'm going to get a little bit of the burning smell because of the wick. And my expectations were pretty much like I'm not going to have the same experience of a Scentsy warmer, and as I burned it, I would agree it's not the same experience of a Scentsy warmer. It was kind of mild. The scent throw wasn't as strong. However, it's a candle. It gives you exactly what you want from a candle, which is the ambient experience that you get from candles, and it is definitely within this range. I would say I probably could smell it maybe in this room and maybe a little bit out of my room, but not really. It was mostly just in this room. I do have it unused to compare the two of the bar and the candle. I'm sorry, there's just nothing like it. This is just I'm just they're just not the same. This is a different wax blend. So this one is paraffin, and it's intended to be warmed and never burned, just so that the fragrance oils are only releasing the fragrance and nothing else. This one, however, is a soy blend, so there is some paraffin, but it's mostly soy, and I think something else. Microcrystalline wax, soy wax, and a little bit of paraffin. So it's not as strong. It's nowhere near as strong as the bar. So they always ask, I know in the past, where they're like, why don't you ever switch the type of wax? And a lot of the times it was like they just cannot hold the fragrance oils in comparison to the wax that they use. And I would agree with that. It just does not hold the same amount of fragrance and the scent strength. So it's just not the same. So scent length time. I can okay, let's focus here. I can warm 2 cubes of cider mill and probably get about 8 to 10 hours from it, and within that same time range of this candle, it barely made a dent in it. So obviously candles are made to be used for a certain period of time, and then you blow it out. So it's just, again, the experience is just different. It's not the same. And I like having my warmers on 24/7, where you don't get that from here. Actually, a great example is what happened to me today. I had lit the candle yesterday, and because I was writing, and I'll use the candle when I'm writing. It just creates the vibe. But I just get in a habit. So when I'm ready to like officially come like just back away from the computer and log off and everything. I just walk out of my room and I don't think anything of it and I close the door. So this morning when I walked in there, I was like, oh, I forgot to blow out the candle. So it was like 12 hours that this candle was burning. Luckily nothing happened, but that was just one of the concerns that I remember LJ always complained to me, because I always forgot I had the candles burning, and he would be like, what are you doing? Like, you literally fell asleep with like 4 or 5 candles burning, and like, what happens if something would have happened and you wouldn't have known? So anyway, but those were really the only issues I had, which was just typical candle safety, which everybody should know. Don't leave, this burning by itself, which, I did not listen to that advice yesterday, but luckily nothing happened. But that's just, Let's talk about pricing. Now, I was going to give you a pricing comparing like bar to candle, but they're just not the same. To me, if you're looking at a diffuser and essential oils to Scentsy warmers and bars, they're just not the same type of experience you're going to get. Like, I kind of get the wall fan, like the Scentsy Air products with the warmers. Like, I get that comparison. I just don't think you can really compare the two, in my opinion. The experiences are completely different. How you're using them are going to be different, in my opinion. I just don't think they're the same. So I'm not comparing the pricing between the bars and this. It's just not. However, I have done that, and I just don't feel like it doesn't do it any type of justice, because they're just two different very things. I could put 2 cubes of a wax bar, or no, 2 cubes from a wax bar and a warmer, which I did in the kitchen, and it overpowered the whole entire place for like a day or two. Like that's all I could smell. I couldn't smell nothing else, where I wouldn't get the same experience with that. So it just doesn't make sense for me to compare the pricing between the two. But I will say, compare the pricing of other candles that I have seen. I went online and looked at like a variety of different types of candles, and there was really some brands that had things that were smaller than this that were way over $100, and they were obviously more luxury brand, which I think that's where Scentsy wants to be at. It's more in the luxury style, not in like Yankee Candle, or maybe at Walmart. No offense to any of that. There's no offense to any. I'm just saying, like, the manufacturer is a little different, and it's just the brand kind of thing. And I've gone down to places local where the candles are hand poured and hand done, and honestly, for this price of a candle, it would have been a lot more expensive. And this being 30, and then if you buy a 3 bundle, they end up becoming $24 each. I really don't think the pricing is that bad at all. I feel like it's very competitively priced. All in all, I was very happy with the candles and the experience. I enjoyed it. I can't wait. I'm planning on getting another one, but I'm going to burn this one down until I do that, just because I don't want to end up with a whole bunch of candles. And, I only technically burn them only for a few hours every night, so it will be a while before I need it. So outside of that, like I said before, the experiences between a warmer to a candle is just not the same. It's kind of apples to oranges. The comparison is really not the same, in my opinion. If you really want a something that's going to add fragrance everywhere, warmers are a better option, in my opinion. If you want or diffusers, I don't hardly ever use diffusers much. My husband does. He uses them. And the Scentsy Air, which I use that as well, or the air purifier, I use all of that. But if I just want to burn a candle while I'm writing and having a writing session, or if I'm playing Palia, it's a great experience and I enjoyed it. But outside of that, they're just not the same. So I do want to mention some things where people did not like that Scentsy was going to be offering candles, and I'm just going to offer a little bit of my perception of how that looks to me. I think I mentioned this earlier in the video where Scentsy hasn't been wickless in quite a long time. So, or just wickless. Actually, when I joined Scentsy in August of 2012, we were introducing Layers, which was the laundry and the body line. I just don't feel like Scentsy has been just a wickless company for a very long time. They have been more fragrance. I'm pretty sure they probably haven't advertised as a wickless one in a very long time. And I can't even, I'm hardly on social media. I try to stay off as much as possible, but I don't even see people promoting it as a wickless company. While yes, in the beginning and early stages of Scentsy, that was a primary focus. Since then, the company has evolved, has grown, and so to call it just a wickless company just doesn't make a lot of sense to me anymore. I do like that they have grown and evolved, and I think that's really great as a business aspect. I think everybody in their life and as a business, there should be evolution that happens, and I think that's great that Scentsy does listen to us, even though sometimes we get a little cranky, you know. But I do think Scentsy really does try to listen and take everything into consideration, and I'm glad to see a lot of the changes that they've been doing. I think adding the candles was a great addition because there's just so many people that do like candles and they will use them. I have quite a few people in my circle base of customers that use candles. They're not just Scentsy. We are loyal to Scentsy, but not all the customers are. They like candles, they like other products, and we can't determine how they're going to spend their money, but we can at least offer them products that they can. So I don't really see anything wrong with Scentsy adding candles. But I also understand that some people just don't like that because we are a company that has always been like, we don't do candles and we're much more safer than that. I still feel like it was a great addition, but I also understand why some people just don't like it. So I plan on buying more. I like them. I most likely will be using this for what, I don't know yet, but I do love me hoarding some glass jars. You don't want to see my collection of those, but I do plan on keeping them. I think they're really great. I really enjoyed them, and you know, it is weird to think that Scentsy finally added candles, but it makes a lot of sense to me, and there's a market for that, so I just think that if some people are refusing to market something like that, that's their prerogative. They're allowed to not market it. There's products that Scentsy offers that I wouldn't touch because I'm like, I just hated them. Travel Twist and Travel Tins were the two that I hated. I just thought they were horrible products and they did not work in the way that it was intended to, so I never promoted it. So you can definitely not promote it if you really don't like the idea that Scentsy does candles. But I do think that you are leaving out a major opportunity for your potential customers that you could be reaching out to about candles. So ultimately, as your business, you can do what you want, but I personally don't see an issue with it. So yay for candles. So I was editing the video and I forgot to mention this part, so this is off centered. This was done after the fact. But anyway, my air purifier. So when I'm using this candle and when I'm blowing it out, it does not set off my air purifier whatsoever. So the burn wise, I would say it's definitely very clean. Even when I had it accidentally left it burning for 12 hours, I walked in and it just smelled like cider mill. So I just wanted to mention that this did not set off the air purifier whatsoever. I mean, our Scentsy Wax doesn't do it either. So I just thought I would mention that as well. I would love to know what your feedback and suggestions are below. I will link the category of the candles in my description. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, feel free to drop them below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.